Hello everyone, in the previous lesson, we discussed gesture animations such as touch, light tap, slide, and press and slide. Today, we will continue with another commonly used gesture.
Drag and drop. Drag and drop refers to the action of holding onto an object and moving it to a different location. I have broadly categorized drag and drop into two forms. The first one is content drag and drop. For example, in the list interface, you can adjust the order of contents by drag and drop. Another example is commonly seen in image zooming, where you can drag and drop the image up, down, left, or right to view details. The second form is functional drag and drop, where you drag and drop an object to a specific location to trigger a particular function. For example, in this interface design, dragging a photo to different locations triggers functions such as delete or bookmark. In this other design, by dragging an image downwards into a semicircle, you can add it to a list. And in this interesting example, there is a plate at the bottom, and dragging your favorite food images into the plate allows you to add them to your cart. Now let's think about other scenarios where drag and drop can be used. For instance, drag and drop can be used as an animation effect for a progress bar. Let's see a few comprehensive examples. While you are reviewing them, think about which of your own interfaces could benefit from drag and drop animations combined with other gestures. The next commonly used gesture is multi-touch, which involves pinching or stretching with 2 or 3 fingers. This gesture is often used in map interfaces for zooming in or out, as well as for zooming in or out on images. After zooming in on an image, you can also drag and drop. Some of you may even use multi-touch gesture animations when taking screenshots on phones. The last commonly used gesture animation is long press, which involves holding onto a target on the screen without releasing it. The most common application of this gesture is when we copy and paste text. Usually, if you long press on the text you want to copy, it will be selected and additional options such as copy, forward, bookmark, delete, etc. will appear above. Let's look at a few examples. Apart from copying, there are various other applications for this gesture animation. You can use your imagination based on specific content to combine it with gestures. For example, in the animated image, if you long press on the color block, it displays information about that block. In the mobile interface shown, long press on the plus or minus button causes the number to change accordingly. All of these gestures enhance the user experience. After discussing gesture animations, let's talk about the design principles for interface animations. A complete UI animation involves not only gestures such as touch and slide, but also seamless transitions between pages and elements. This ensures a cohesive and complete look. We will cover 5 principles in total. The first principle is the hierarchical display principle. In the physical world, objects follow the principle of appearing larger when they are closer and smaller when they are further away. Similarly, motion appears faster when objects are closer and slower when they are further away. When elements in the user interface exist at different levels, appropriate animations can help users understand the spatial relationship between them and convey a sense of spatiality within the entire system. Therefore, the focus of this principle is to help users understand spatial relationship between elements and create a sense of depth within the flat interface. For example, in the image on the right, the principle of larger when closer, smaller when further away is applied, creating a strong sense of hierarchy. You can create a sense of hierarchy by stacking images or information in your designs. The second principle of animation design is the spatial expansion principle. In mobile interface design, due to the limited screen space, it can be challenging to accommodate a large amount of information content. Additional storage space for supplementary content can be created through folding, flipping, scaling, and other techniques presented in a progressive disclosure manner to alleviate the cognitive burden on users. As we discussed earlier, We designed embedded interfaces can effectively demonstrate this principle. In the provided example, by progressively revealing hidden content layer by layer, users can experience a smooth sense of hierarchy. As we discussed earlier, the folding feature in embedded interfaces is a way to streamline space. Let's take a look at some related examples and compare them with your own design work for improvement. Besides, we can also use folding and expanding animations to demonstrate the expansion of space. The third principle of interface animation design is the focus and attention principle. By using animated changes in elements, we can remind users of specific content or information. This type of attention-grabbing approach not only reduces visual clutter, making the interface cleaner and more concise, but it also naturally and gracefully captures the user's attention during their interaction with the interface. The essence of this principle lies in focusing on gesture animations or element changes. For example, in the animated image on the right, pay attention to the carousel interface at the top of the page. Instead of simple left and right sliding animations, it incorporates dynamic effects resembling waves to capture the user's attention.
The image below also employs a similar technique. The fourth principle of interface animation design is content presentation.
It means that the elements of the interface should be presented in a certain order, guiding the user's visual focus. From the animated image on the right, it is clear that all elements in the interface appear in a sequential order rather than all at once. First, the map appears, followed by the rest of the content. In many cases, when our mobile network or information connection is poor, information also appears gradually. This approach reflects real-world usage scenarios and helps users better perceive the page layout, hierarchy, and key content. Furthermore, it enriches the overall user experience and adds vitality to the interface by making the entire process more dynamic and seamless. Look at the second example. You can see that the information on each page appears in a specific order. Imagine if all this information appeared at once. It would overwhelm the user and make it difficult to know where to focus their attention. By presenting the content gradually, users can have a clearer and more structured view of the information. The final principle of interface animation design is the interactive feedback principle. Regardless of the interaction actions such as click, long press, drag and drop, slide, the system should provide immediate feedback. This feedback should be presented visually or through animations, helping users understand the system's response to their interactions and providing a sense of security. This aligns with what we discussed earlier about interactive feedback and enhancing the interactivity of buttons. Look at the picture on the right. The bottom navigation bar has two states, selected and unselected. When an item is selected, it presents the cute animated feedback, providing users with a sense of interaction and adding refinement to the interface. Feedback for user actions is often reflected in details such as the changes in icons or buttons when touched.
Well, everybody, that's all for this lesson.
Animation design is the final and crucial part of UI design. It directly reflects the layout design. After carefully digesting the content discussed today, I encourage you to complete the following homework assignments. 1. Create 3 complete animations that include light tap, multi-touch, tap and hold along with other gesture or multiple gestures. Each animation should last at least 10 seconds and should have a clear step-by-step process. Ensure that the speed is not too slow and the overall operation feels smooth. 2. Modify and enhance your previous assignments, incorporating at least 3 principles of animations design.